We got action. We got action. Birdman of Cash Money goes on an 85 South show and says some controversial things about hip hop in the South and the East.
So, it's always been a competitive thing for us with them. Cause they felt like we was better, they was better than us, and we felt like we was better than them. But once they caught on to us like it is now, I don't think they'll ever get it back. Like, we here forever, like, cause they had it forever. Like, the East and the West, they had it forever, and I don't think we'll ever let it go. Ever.
Now, how y'all feel about that? Feel free to put in the comments. Do you agree or disagree? I mean, let's just face it. The South have had the ball for a while, but hip-hop is just open. Hip-hop is just fun now. I mean, let's just put it clear. East Coast is basically, dominance was always lyrics. It's still, the best is from New York. We can't deny that. Your favorite, well, even though it's all subjectable and debatable, but Jay-Z's one of the best. Nas is one of the best. And when we talk about current, Nas is still current. Nas just dropped a classic, Beast, Magic 3. Jay-Z probably could be low enough for something. He been real quiet. So when the giants like those two, they still hail from New York. But as far as it just being saturated and overwhelmed with multiple and many and up to date and current and in your face hip hop and music, you can give it to the South. And over the course of time, because we've been partying for a while, and most of that is Atlanta, then the whole bounce with the New Orleans sound when Cash Money did come. So as far as someone actually having it or saying they got it back, that's really debatable. I think it all depends on what your preference is for your music and what you subject to. And even though it is some lyricists in the South, this is a hard one. But as far as how Cash Money's saying, I think when Baby said that, he just know that Cash Money had the longest run. Now that's just fair to admit. I mean, globally, outside of New Orleans, shit. What do you say, the 99 to 2000? So that's the year 2000, even though they was out before the year 2000. But that's when Cash Money really came through the gates. They run is, man, this is year 2023 now, so you can say they basically had a 23 run, really 23 plus. So when you do speak on the biggest, you gotta be, I can see how a CEO like Baby can say that, because his focus been nothing but music after all these years. I mean, they might have dipped in a couple of things, but they main primary focus through Cash Money Records for these 23 years off and on has been mainly music. It ain't been movies. It ain't been shoes and clothes and all these other things, or alcohol or spirits. You know, it's been mainly music. Not saying that they don't have their hands in other things. I'm not saying that. But when you think of Cash Money, you don't think of alcohol. You don't, you know, like how Diddy, you think of some rock, and you think of his run that keep his music relevant by other products and merchandise. No, when you think of Cash Money, you think of the music that's attached to it, or the management. You think of your Drakes, I mean, even all the offsprings. That's what I'm saying. Your Drakes, your Nicki Minaj's, Wayne, the whole crew. Now you got BG released it out. Cash Money Records is still dependent and thriving off music. They ain't wasting no time. They coming right back. BG is out of jail. BG is in the studio. He's not, you know how some people, they'll come on, they'll be like, okay, they might do a record. They might, no, they letting it be known. BG is in the studio. We even plan on a tour and all of that. So I can see how one like Birdman can say that, okay, they ain't getting it back because look at the run that they had. Now, if it's somebody else from the South who probably didn't, I don't want to bring up no names because I don't want to disrespect nobody, but I'm trying to think of somebody who may have just 1 or 2 hits and they from the South. That was probably about 15 years ago. I mean, they can have a moment and say, they could be pointed out and be like, they can't say what Birdman can say because they might look at it different. I mean, let's just be real. New York jumped on the bandwagon of the South for a minute anyway. You remember Cameron said, like, when did we start bouncing? Even Nas was mad at that. Cameron, all that. I mean, everybody jumped on it. Everybody got to party. Everybody got to having fun. Everybody got to riding the wave. And even the West is, I don't say the West is struggling, but the West identity is not the same as it was in early 90s, which it shouldn't be. Not saying that it should be. But their identity is not the straight up that laid back West Coast like it used to be. I got a homeboy who was a DJ. He actually played a couple of songs for me of some young cats from the West Coast, and they was sounding like some Detroit rappers. I'm looking like, okay, there's some people jumping on a Detroit style. I mean, everybody got their moment in time with hip hop. But think of how big the South is. When you think of the East, you're only thinking about a couple of cities. You're only thinking New York, what we say, Jersey. You probably could put Philly in that because they not Midwest. So you're really only thinking about a couple of places. But when you talk about the South, I mean, the South should, be holding it this long. Look how big the South is. You still got Florida, Atlanta, New Orleans. I mean, all of Texas. I mean, Houston. All of, that's big. That's why they down there in Texas still. I mean, like I done watched a couple of interviews. People like Lil Flip and all them, just because we don't see them up here. I mean, I'm from the Midwest. Just because we don't hear their names ringing like it was when they first came out. Those guys are still making money and just off of Texas. I mean, regionally, like you can get rich in Texas alone if you got a real ball moving. I mean, it's been said about multiple rappers who may not get that global push like they used to, and people might think that they didn't fell off or not popping like they used to. But it's been said over and over that once you pop down there, I mean, like you good, like you can eat, like you can move around, and you can, like you relevant, like they got their own world down there in the South. And I can believe it, because look how big it is. And that's why they can still move around and make those records. And you have New Orleans. Now we about to see what BG is about to do. All that's going to do is just make cash and money, just the name and the music again. So again, like I say, they relying on music. So I can see how Birdman could say something like this. But anyway, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, if y'all agree. Do the South still got the ball? If they gonna have it forever? And just tell me how you feel about it. Get with y'all in a minute. Birdman speaks on the 85 South show about the East Con run is over. Get with y'all in a minute. Rap talk.